Hi friends, today's video is reviewing the Architecture Competitions Yearbook 2020 edition, and let's get into it. So the first page of the book is kind of an editorial page where it says why have they started doing this book. Our second edition brings up much more complex debate, and although we do not expect to rectify it within a single issue, it is our hope that we never stop trying to figure it out. For as long as this project lasts, we will keep asking what this publication can become. And I think that is such a beautiful message because I feel like I'm on the grasp of something really valuable here, because by the time you finish this video, you will see how the book has evolved and taken up a lot of the feedback that it received in the 2019 edition. They've also added something really interesting, which is 3 interviews by different architects in the book, asking them about different questions along their career. The first interview that I want to mention today is the Natalie DeVries. I'm not sure how you would pronounce her name, but she is a principal architect and urban designer at MVRDV, which is a really big firm. And I loved how she began her office through competition. I think it's such an important lesson because even one of my lecturers at my master's university told us that they've started their firm just doing competition, and he started it during masters with a group of friends. So don't underestimate the importance of competitions as well as your classmates in masters or your undergraduate, because you never know who might be your partner in your practice or your firm. The next interview that I want to highlight today is Starting with a Pencil and a Blank Page with Robert Coenzini. Don't know how to pronounce that either, but he is a member of the French Academy of Architecture since 2019, and in 1999 he founded the KWK Prom Studio, known for its conceptual approach to design. So I really enjoyed this interview, and it was all about how he started his practice, and he shares a lot of his experiences as a student in the architectural life and competitions and failures and design mistakes. And I do want to highlight a few things because this book is also about debate, so I'd like to open up a debate with you guys. Even now, when someone comes to my studio with excellent grades across all subjects and all designs handed in on time, I cannot help but look at this person suspiciously. I want you to understand me well here, but I believe that a good architect is someone who devotes every moment to refine and enhance the project till the very last minute, uses every possible chance to polish it even more. So to me, someone who has everything ready 2 days before the deadline seems a bit unreliable, is not fit for the job, and cannot call himself a creator. I believe that there are exceptions to this rule, such as Norman Foster, who is totally organized, but unfortunately I am not that way, and there are not a lot of people like him. Well, I guess there's a lot to unpack there, so I do kind of agree to what he says to an extent. I mean, during my master's, there was this group who were completely on top of things. They had everything done on time. Their presentations were excellent. Pretty much all of the class were jealous of them because of how good they were. But when you come to actually analyze their architecture, it's not as, for example, conceptual, as detailed and refined as, for example, other group. With our group, we were so behind, but we managed to catch up in the end. And one of the critiques that we had was how well our design was, because we had thought of every single detail of that building. But I wouldn't call that group unreliable, not fit for the job, and cannot call themselves a creator. I mean, architectural life is pretty difficult. Being a student is really hard. Not to mention that you have to manage different courses and different projects at the same time. So just because you finish the project 2 days before deadline does not make you not an architect or not a creator or unreliable. I think that just sends a very wrong message here. I mean, I get what he's trying to say, but we don't know what the other group did. We don't know their process. Their project was different. We don't know how many sleepless nights that they had to put in to get to submit in 2 days before the deadline. I mean, I had a different friend in a different university, and she was so organized. I mean, Afnan, if you're watching this, she and a different girl, her name was Mashal, they were amazing. They were so on top of things, and they used to submit things before deadline, like at least maybe a day or two. Her projects were incredible, really detailed, and she chose to spend, for example, the last 3 weeks before project or deadline and to pull in more work and refine the project. I mean, even realistically in real life, You have to have a point where you just have to put the pen down and just stop designing. You cannot keep designing to the very last moment. And in practice, you have to work with many different specialists, engineers, and if one point of the project is not finished or not developed, then a different section might suffer because they're waiting on the things or the drawings from the other department. So it really doesn't make sense to keep designing to the end. It's just my opinion. You guys are gonna have to let me know in the comments down below because, again, this book is all about debate, so we're putting it to the test. I'll let you guys read the book to see what the third interview is all about. So this book has 10 competitions, and today I want to highlight one competition that I just absolutely love the visuals for, which is the Iceland Volcano Museum competition. First of all, I'd like to add a few things that this edition has that the 2019 didn't have. So for example, we have the brief on the left, which is really handy because then you can read the brief and see how the designers worked to achieve that brief. And you can also use that brief to come up with your own ideas and concepts if you wanted to test out and see how you would create that project for yourself. And also, this edition really details the project in terms of presentation as well as the actual conceptual process. So now you can also see the full poster and full presentation if you wanted to take a look and see more pictures or how this whole project was laid out. There's also jury statements, quotes, and I really love the first place winner for this competition because the visuals are honestly insane, and it's all about perspectives and actually achieving a serene experience within the mountain. You can also see the second place winner as well as the third place winner so that you can see if there's any similarities or differences. And then at the end of every competition, you can also see the honorable mentions, which is not just amazing just to see different concepts for one brief. What are the reasons for these mentions? Why didn't they win? So in my personal and humble opinion, I think if you look at all of the perspectives for the honorable mentions, you can see how they really tried to compete with the landscape, but it was all about the Iceland Volcano Museum. It was all about the volcano. And the first place and the second place winner, they really try to capture the essence of the volcano and not detract from it, but kind of really think about the experience of that space and how it would make other people feel, rather than just a really monumental piece of architecture. There's also a section on the winners and how they think they won that competition. So for this competition specifically, they spoke about their arrival experience, their plan, their section, materiality, drawing, and then finally just a brief summary of what they found to be important. And I think these sketches are such great sketches because they show you how real architecture starts, which is a variety of rough sketches that then gets to be refined and developed into a real project. Now I must say I was a bit disappointed to not see everything that was on the posters in the page, but this book is way heavier and it has a lot more pages than the 2019 edition. So I do understand that there might have been some cuts on what to include in the book and what not to include, so that you can have a variety of competitions and variety of concepts. But as I mentioned before, you have 10 competitions, and if every competition had 3 winners, and then you also have honorable mentions, which let's forget about those for a minute. So that's 3 times 10. So that's 30 projects that you can see and analyze in this one book. And then you have also honorable mentions. So the amount of information, knowledge, value, ideas, inspiration is abundant. And I cannot recommend this book enough. I'll leave a link in the description down below for where you can buy the book. There's a hard copy as well as a digital version. And today's video is also a giveaway, so we are giving away one winner on YouTube as well as a different winner on Instagram. The giveaway is international and I'll have the details for the competition right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm shorturl, and I'll see you next time. But I wouldn't call them unreal, and it's to be refined and then. But I wouldn't call that group unreliable. I can't say it.